is the best in the world.
Yeah.
Time now for my political panel. West Australian Labor MP Dr Anna Lee and Victorian Liberal MP Tim Wilson join me. Welcome to both of you. I was about to say Happy New Year, but we're in February. Can't say that. Tim Wilson, let's start with you. Your colleague Craig Kelly says he's agreed to support the government's vaccine rollout. He was hauled into the Prime Minister's office. But hasn't the damage already been done? I mean, this guy's been out there arguing about these things the whole of the summer. That's what he's done. He's got 70,000 Facebook, followers. The damage has certainly been done, hasn't it?
Well, firstly, Patricia, Happy New Year, and also belated Happy Australia Day as well. Of course, Craig said what he said. He's made it quite clear in his public statement today that he believes people should follow the expert medical advice. And the Prime Minister's made that clear. And just to be clear, that's my view too, because the reality is we should be listening to the expert medical advice about the safety of vaccinations. Now, people will push out different bits of information. It's still out there. Other people are pushing it. But on this one, when it comes down to what's approved, what's safe, what's accessible and what people should do should be based on their medical practitioners and, of course, the regulatory experts. OK,
so shouldn't the Prime Minister have hauled him in, well, ages ago, to be honest? Why just today?
Well, that is a question you have to put to the Prime Minister, but I think what's clear is that he's taken decisive action today. He's prompted Craig Kelly to issue a clear statement about the need to trust the evidence base and to make sure that people make decisions based obviously on their doctor's advice and also on the clear expert evidence.
Dr Anna Lee, the Prime Minister has made it quite clear that he doesn't support Craig Kelly's views. He's called him into his office. We all know this now. That's what's happened in the last 24 hours. Does that settle the issue for Labor? I mean, you've been pursuing this, but you've got the result you wanted, don't you, which is the Prime Minister denouncing these views?
Well, I'm inclined to agree with you, Patricia, that it is too late. I mean, thus far it seems to me that Craig Kelly's views have been treated as if he's giving an opinion on whether pineapple belongs on pizza. You can't spend millions of dollars on advertising campaigns and talk about a successful way out of this pandemic with vaccinations when you continue to allow and dismiss very vocal and very popular in terms of having Facebook followers, member of your party, spreading what are essentially crazy conspiracy theories about this. So it is too little, too late. The Prime Minister should have acted sooner and earlier to silence Craig Kelly and bring him in line with the medical advice. I think it's done irreparable damage.
OK, but now it has happened, Dr Anna Lee. So is the issue settled? Does Labor move on now?
I would hope so. I think we wait and see. I mean, whether or not it's going to actually change Craig's behaviour.
Tim, Matt Canavan has tweeted, we need more Craig Kellys willing to say unpopular things because it is only by challenging ideas that we get better ideas. Do we need more of that behaviour?
What we need is a free and open debate about public policy issues. And, of course, people who have credible views about issues will carry more weight, and people who perhaps lack credibility in positions or don't have any authority will lack that credibility. But I don't believe in, censorship, as you know. I mean, I'm not a new person to debates around free speech, but when you hold an office and you're representing not just yourself, but obviously the office you hold plus part of the government, then there has to be an understanding that what you say can carry weight and can lead to people misinterpreting the weight of what you're saying. The official government advice is to make sure that people get vaccines, to make sure they understand it's important not just for the health of themselves but for the nation. And again, we take advice from our doctors. We take advice from the Therapeutic Goods Administration about the safety of these types of medicines and vaccines.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's park that issue. It has been very dominant in the last week and today, and move to the RBA Governor's speech, which I think was fairly significant today. The RBA Governor says he supports calls to lift the rate of job seeker, which returns to, what, $40 a day at the end of March. Tim Wilson, just staying with you on this, because the government hasn't landed on where it's going with this, do you think it needs to return to a higher rate than it used to be?
Well, firstly, it's not correct to say it's $40 a day. The overwhelming, and I mean more than 90% of people who get job seeker get additional support, but that's the base of one share of the support measures available to people who are unemployed. But in the end, frankly, I think the RBA Governor has exceeded his mandate in offering this view. The RBA Governor's role is to deal with broad issues of monetary policy and, of course, broader discussions around macroeconomic policy and not specific issues. And this is one where I think he probably should have reserved his opinion.
OK. Why? How has he exceeded his... I mean, he's the RBA Governor, right? That's his... Like, how the economy is travelling is fairly important to his brief. How is this exceeding his
because
brief?
This is a legitimate issue for government policy and, of course, an issue that's for Parliament. And I'd say that consistently, whether he took the view in favour of going up or going down, just for clarity. And so he was obviously asked a question about it because it wasn't formally in his speech. In the end, I think that he should be mindful of that. OK,
so what, he should say, I'm not going to tell you what I really think?
No, he should say that's a legitimate issue for the Parliament and the government of the day, and he has done that on many other occasions on other issues.
OK. Anne Ali, is it not his job to be telling us what to do with New Star?
Oh, I love how free speech is only good when it agrees with what you want it to say. There, PK. Absolutely, it's his role, and even if we dismiss, as Tim wants us to, his opinion and his expert opinion, as a matter of fact, about the rate of New Start. There was a lot that he said in his speech today, and the role of a good government is to be proactive on those issues that are raised, and things like wage stagnation, things like insecure job and people not having as much employment as they can or should. I found it particularly interesting about household spending. Now, I'm no economic genius or mastermind, but I figure that people can't spend money that they don't have. And if you're going to cut job seeker and bring it back down to what is effectively $40 a day, Tim, I've lived on it, post-March, then how do you expect people to spend money and how do you expect the economy to recover?
So, Tim, just final view on this from you. I know you think the RBA Governor's exceeded his mandate or his role, but do you think, it needs to go up?
Well, again, I don't accept much of the premise of the proposition, this constant mantra, which is false around $40 a day when the overwhelming majority of people get supplementary payments. And the reality is I think it needs to be based on evidence. There's plenty of case that people make about why it should go up, but will it materially improve the incentives to encourage workers or people who could be working to be working?
But business says yes, and like they employ people.
Well, no. Sorry, I just need to clarify this. Big business says yes. Smaller businesses are desperate for workers all over the country and can't get them. And when we have a massive gap in the number of people small businesses need to work, then I think we need to keep the incentives very clearly in line with ensuring people can find work and want to find work because you earn a living.
Look, and $40 a day, it's incredibly difficult to look for work, Tim. It's incredibly
well, it is in WA when you have a lockdown. I do accept that.
OK. I just want to... All right, let's just, again, park that issue. It's an ongoing issue. We will go to it again on this program, including with both of you. Just, Anna-Lee, finally to you. Your seat of Cowan is in Perth's northern suburbs. Currently, it has bushfire warnings in the area. Look, you're not there, but...
Yes, I am, actually.
Oh, you are actually there? I thought you'd already...
And right now, we're in the watch and wait zone.
Well,
I'm coming to you straight from there.
Tell me what sort of situation you're in and what are the considerations you're making right now?
Right, so yesterday it was incredibly difficult to step outside. The smoke was thick, ash was falling, and we are in the blue zone. So we're in a fairly safe zone, but we've been told to wait and see and have a bushfire plan in place. And I heard you earlier speaking about the demographics of this area. This area is the burbs. It is outer suburban. There are very typical houses, and in amongst it, across the road, I've got a big sporting complex. Down the road, I've got a big bush area and reserve, and there are a number of them dotted around here. So people here are rightfully concerned. Today the air is clearer and the air quality is better, but that's because the winds have changed. But we're all just sitting and waiting and watching what WA Emergency Services are telling us.
Well, good luck with that. It's a very, very, very difficult situation, I know, for people in WA, including for you. Well, welcome to the new year on this panel to both of you, and thank you for coming on the show. Joining us this afternoon, West Australian Labor MP Dr Anna Lee, who's in WA, as she made clear there, and Victorian Liberal MP Tim Wilson.
Thanks, Patricia.